Hey everybody, that's right, man. Welcome back to the Bowfishing Buzz, episode 77. My name is Matthew. I'm here with my good buddy D. Schmitty.
Yes, sir.
Brought to you by AMS Bowfishing and
MegaMouth Bowfishing. We've got NDesigns as a sponsor. E-FISH-N-SEE Bowfishing Lights by Outdoor Innovations USA. We're getting all sponsored up here, getting ready to rock and roll. So,
speaking of NDesigns, we just had them come up with some new pro staff jerseys for us.
Right. Yep, we've been going back and forth with a couple different mock-ups that they had over there.
Yep. And they're going to be getting ready to print out our AMS Big 20 t-shirts.
Oh, that's right.
Well.
Yep, they make those as well.
Remember, you get those if you pre-register by April 22nd.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes. Not only do you get a free t-shirt, you also get a little bit of a break as far as registering for that tournament price-wise.
Yes.
So it's always a good idea. It helps us. It helps you prepare for it.
Right.
It's just all around. If you can pre-register, we would very much appreciate
Absolutely.
that.
And then E-FISH-N-SEE Bowfishing Lights.
Yep.
Stephanie came into my office this morning wheeling a cart with some of the E-FISH-N-SEE lights that are going to be swapping out on the AMS boat.
Yes.
We've got the new V2s, baby.
Yep.
Wow. V2s. I tell you what, I see Chris is doing a lot of work. He's coming up with some different stuff where you can control lights from your phone now. Phone app. To say you're going down a bank and there's a bunch of houses close to the shoreline, you can just grab your phone and blip, 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 and turn those lights off.
Yep. He's always, just from when we had him on the podcast and what we've met with him, we talked to him a little bit at the Big 20 last year. He's always innovating, always advancing. Nothing is ever good enough for him, which is the sign of a very good company to have their products. Because always they're constantly wanting to improve.
Always thinking of what can be done, what can be changed.
And I think it was an Instagram post that I saw yesterday. He was doing exactly that. He had a little remote that he was hitting. The button A would turn on the right side, B the left side, C turned them both on or both off. I'm not quite sure what it was doing, but it looked so easy and so simple.
Very cool.
Yeah, looked awesome. Looked awesome. But
we're one more thing on E-FISH-N-SEE Bowfishing. Before we move on. They also sent us a nice package as a donation.
Oh, very nice.
Somebody's going to win some E-FISH-N-SEE Bowfishing Lights at the AMS Big 20.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool, very cool. We have all kinds of donations rolling in here. We're going to have a lot to give away this year.
I've got some G5 products. I've got some Havalon knives, some really nice looking knives. 3 different kinds of knives, and they're pretty cool looking.
That one looked like a big fillet knife. That looked really cool,
a couple fillet option lengths in the blades and stuff, and that one was looked like a multi-tool.
Oh yeah, it was that. It was like a Jim Shockey edition. Shockey or something like that. It looked really nice, like a crazy advanced Leatherman with all kinds of different tools for you to.
Matthew
to be able
sent
to
us
use.
A brand new bow as a giveaway.
Yep.
So we've got some nice stuff rolling in already.
Yeah, we do. We certainly do. We certainly do. And just as far as that NDesigns thing go, we were back and forth with them all last week, and the response time that they had as far as plugging in new little designs and stuff that we had, that's why we work with NDesigns.
Yep.
They are so quick, so prompt. Everything looks very nicely done. You'll give them an idea, they'll go with that idea, but kind of put their own touch on it, and all of a sudden you've got an end product. You're like, wow, that looks. You can tell that that's what they do. So
it's great working with NDesigns.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So today is, what is it today? March 26th? March 26th.
Oh boy.
Tuesday, March 26th. That's crazy. We're right in the middle of a March Madness here at the shop here. And we always get a big work bracket together. It's always kind of fun to talk some trash. So who did you pick, Matt, to go all the way so far this year?
My pick this year was the University of Houston.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
The old Cougars.
Yeah. Any reasoning why you picked the Houston Cougars?
I picked them. I never saw them play a game this year.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. I gotcha. Sure.
But before I did my picks, I was doing some reading up on stuff, and one of the things that caught my attention was that they supposedly had a great defense.
And they do. That they do. They're an athletic defensive team.
Yep, and whenever I think of winning championships and stuff, defense comes to mind.
Baby. Absolutely.
Yep. So, and they were a number 1 pick in their seed.
In their region. Yep.
So I went ahead and picked Houston. I did pick them last year, and they got beat out earlier than I expected last year. So I'm a little, and they had a darn close game Sunday night.
They did.
Ooh, overtime.
Yep. Yeah, that was a good game. There's been some really good games. Yeah, for sure. But
I think I have right now. So we're moving into the Sweet 16. I have 12 teams.
So that's pretty good. That's pretty darn good. 75% of your Sweet 16 is correct. That's tough to. That's tough to do. That's tough to do.
Yep. So who'd you pick?
I picked the Arizona Wildcats.
Wildcats.
Yes. Would you like to know a little bit of reasoning behind why I picked the Arizona Wildcats?
Because you like their logo.
Well, not quite, but this goes back to my childhood. All right. So Arizona, one, they're a 2 seed. They're a good team. They're the best 3-point shooting team in the nation. They got a solid defense. Caleb Love is their point guard, who's been here, been in the tournament. I think he transferred from UNC, if I remember correctly. He had a big shot.
The old transfer portal deal?
I think that's right. That could be wrong, but I think I remember him in a Tar Heel uniform. But when I was knee-high to a grasshopper and I was a little kid and I was watching NBA, all right?
Yeah.
My favorite team was the New Jersey Nets. Jason Kidd, Vince Carter, and my favorite player on that team, Richard Jefferson. Richard Jefferson.
Oh, yeah. I remember Richard
University
Jefferson.
of Arizona.
Yep. He could really do some good dunks.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, and now he's good on the commentary. So I'm like, you know what? I had it narrowed down between, 2 or 3 teams. I'm like, I'm going to go with the 2 seed. I'm picking Arizona to win. So
cool.
We'll see how that plays out. Right now, the owner of AMS, Jeff Brown, is sitting high and pretty in first place right now.
What's his team name? JB McDunkers or something?
JB Dunkmeisters.
Dunkmeister.
The Dunkmeisters. Yes. Yep. So, yeah, we'll have to see how that all plays out here.
I didn't want to go with the fan favorite UConn.
Yeah, I think half of our bracket picked UConn.
Five people picked UConn, I believe.
Yeah, so it gets to a point where even if you pick them and they win it all, you might not even finish in the money just because your bracket. That's no fun. I want to root for a team outright, you know?
Right.
So, yeah.
You know what? So I'm sitting there watching March Madness and the the cool stuff that goes along with the basketball games and the high intensity. Lose, you're done, man. You're moving on, and it's just high intensity. I thought, wow, wouldn't this be something if we had something like Mayhem?
Mayhem, okay.
In the bowfishing world?
Okay.
Imagine this.
That would be awesome.
You take like 64 teams that either have to qualify somehow or they get into this 64-team bracket.
Yep. Okay. Yeah.
You pick like 5 different lakes, and you compete against you draw names who you're going to compete against that
would
night.
Be pretty cool. And then whoever shoots the most weight or the biggest fish,
like,
or
you could say like a Big 10 or something like that.
Sure, yeah, that
for
would
just
be cool.
one night.
That would be cool.
Just one night. So you and if you get beat, you're done. If you win, you're moving on to the next night.
That would be cool.
Mayhem Bowfishing
that
tournament.
Would be awesome. That would be very cool.
Just thinking.
Maybe something in the works there.
That's
a lot of work. That would be really cool. But
and then they would have off that week and then come back the next weekend in a different area.
Have a week to scout. Scout your opponent. What do they do well?
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You're down to the Final Four.
We could do like a live broadcast. Welcome back to Mayhem.
Oh,
Derek and Matt here on the call here. If we look over here, we got the Pease brothers over here. They're shooting a lot of big fish here. It's going to be tough for the 16 seed to catch up with them here. That would be cool. That would be kind of funny. It'd be like the Bassmaster Classic.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yep.
That'd be kind of neat. I was just thinking about that.
Yeah.
Schmitty, what about this goofy weather we're having here in Wisconsin? I don't know if anybody else out there is having some crazy weather, but
I was just going to touch on that. And the bad part of it is, Matt, I go through this every spring. We get teased with it because you and I both we both love to ice fish. I love ice fishing. With our crazy weird winter this year, I was done ice fishing by March. Like it was like the last week in April, I was
done in February.
Yeah, the last weekend of February was really the last safe ice. We had a 2-week spell there in March where it was like highs in the upper 50s, 60s. I remember driving my truck through a field doing some work on the farm.
You mean February?
In February. Well, in the first week of March, too, was crazy warm. I remember it was like March 3rd, and I'm driving through a field on the farm, and it was like 67 degrees in my truck. I'm like, this is not right. This is weird. Mm-hmm. So then my brain goes into spring mode. I want to start doing outside stuff. I want to start shooting fish, prepping the farm for deer hunting, everything I can do. And then every year we get slapped back into reality and we get cold weather. And the last couple of days we're getting all kinds of snow. It's crazy. It's raining out right now. It's just crummy, crappy weather.
Yeah. Yesterday morning we came to work. I had to come in early to plow because we had, we got 10 inches of snow.
Yeah, I know.
Plowed.
Yeah.
And now this morning when I was coming to work, it was pouring rain.
Yep. It's crazy. It's crazy.
And foggy and everything. We had better weather back in February.
We did. Absolutely. We did. Yeah. I was sitting at home Sunday night. Must have been Sunday night. Maybe it was Saturday night. Whenever we got all that snow. It must have been Sunday night. And I'm on Snapchat and I'm looking, I'm like, man, there's nothing to do. I'm just sitting on my phone. And here I look on Maverick Riley's Snapchat story. And he had a little video of a plastic bag, and he goes, well, I got my snacks. It's time to go shoot some fish. And he pans outside. It's a blizzard. You can't see anything. I'm like, geez, this guy is nuts.
He is nuts.
But he went out and put the smack down on a bunch of fish in a snowstorm. That guy is just as dedicated as they come. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So.
And it's just so weird, different regions. Like I was talking to Jeff Nyball last week.
Yeah.
They were out shooting spawning commons.
Oh, my
gosh.
That's insane. Wow.
Yeah. Crazy. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's
jealous.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. In March.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yep. It's crazy.
Yep. Yep.
But now it's time for.
Can you feel the tension in the air right now?
It's time for BAA Records.
All right, so we've got some records here, obviously, and there's
Before we go on, did you like the little jingle?
I love the new jingle, to be honest with you. When you whipped that up this morning, you came into my office and we listened to Dan Patrick, and you were talking about, we got to have a jingle like stat of the day, here comes that what? Stat of the day. So Matt comes in, tells me that. I'm like, yeah, that'd be cool.
We need
that'd
something.
Be cool. 20 minutes later, he's like, hey, come to my office. he's got a jingle completely done and finished, and that was the jingle you guys just heard. So it's
I thought it'd be something that way when we do our podcast, we play that jingle. Everybody knows. Oh, here comes a BAA Records.
Yep. And we do it almost every podcast if we've got some to talk about.
Right.
So
and we actually have a bunch of them here.
We do. To start out here, we're going to congratulate Steve Cobrine on his BAA Florida State record and world record Pompano, weighing 2.01 pounds. Nice shooting, Steve.
Yep. And then we also got Steve here on his BAA Florida State record and world record. Barracuda, weighing 40.4 pounds. That's on the bucket list.
That would be
Barracuda.
That's cool.
I remember years and years ago, this is a long time ago, Jeremy Lou shot a Barracuda.
Okay.
From Team River's Edge years ago, and I was
gotcha.
oh man, that is cool.
Huh. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Those are just wicked fish. They're darting around. They're so fast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yep. Well, Steve must have been busy because we have to congratulate him here on his BAA Florida State record houndfish, weighing 6.4 pounds.
Steve's not done yet on his BAA Florida State record and world record inshore lizardfish, weighing 0.74 pounds.
Wow, that's crazy. 0.74 pounds. Steve, again here, congrats on his BAA Florida State record lockdown, weighing 1.14 pounds. Now, I need to see a picture of a lockdown. What in the world is a lockdown?
We've had lockdowns in the past. We've had pompanos in the past.
That's insane.
I don't think we've ever had an inshore lizardfish.
I was going to say, all these are foreign to me.
Yeah.
That's cool. Nice shooting, Steve.
Right. Then we're going to move on to Troy Vincent on his BAA Tennessee State record smallmouth buffalo, weighing 68.80 pounds.
Wow, good Lord.
Nice fish, Troy.
That's a tank.
Nice.
68 pounds. Congrats to Kyle Arwood on his BAA Oklahoma State record River Red Horse, weighing 9.3 pounds. That's a big red horse right there.
Very big red horse. Then we move on to Joshua Steer on his BAA Ohio State record smallmouth buffalo, weighing 32 pounds.
Nice. John Davis, congrats on his BAA Florida State record and world record striped Mohara, weighing 1.7 pounds. Nice shooting to John Davis.
Yes. Then we go on to John Wisenant on his BAA Florida State record and world record mullet, weighing 11.60 pounds.
Nice.
That's a huge mullet.
It is.
I remember being out there years ago for inshore shark, and we were seeing a lot of mullet, but man, they were tiny, like little shad and stuff. They were small.
Right.
This tanker right here at 11.60 pounds, that's a giant mullet.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm curious how much Maverick Riley's mullet weighs. He's got a luscious blonde mullet on the top of his head all the time.
Back. That might be a world record.
Yeah. Congrats to Gene Anderson on his BAA Florida State record longnose gar, weighing 32.6 pounds.
Nice, very nice. Ethan Gilliland on his BAA North Carolina State record butterfly carp.
Oh, sweet.
Weighing 16.30 pounds.
Gotcha, down there in North Carolina.
Nice job. And congratulations to all the new BAA record holders.
Absolutely. Nice shooting, guys. Nice
and remember, if you want to have one of your fish, if you happen to be lucky enough to shoot one, go and join the Bowfishing Association of America. Become a member because we need you.
Yes, we do.
So go to the BAA website and join so you can get your record fish.
And you'll get talked about on the Bowfishing Buzz.
That's exactly right.
Yes. So I tell you what, Matt, I think we're ready to make a phone call. We have a very special guest that will be joining us. We haven't even touched on the guest yet, but we have a very special guest joining us today. His name is Scott Henslee, owner of Bowfishing Extreme. He's got his fingers tied into all kinds of things in the bowfishing community. Very well known, kind of a pioneer. I was looking on his website yesterday, and I believe he started selling bowfishing gear on the internet in 2004.
Wow.
Yeah, he goes way back.
Okay.
So we're going to give Scott a call and just kind of get some insight on his bow fishing career. He's a dealer for both AMS and MegaMouth, does a fantastic job for both of us. But I think we're going to go to a quick ad break. And after this break, we will give Scott a call.
Let's do it.
Are you looking to elevate your bow fishing brand with stunning design solutions? Look no further than NDesigns. Their team of talented designers is dedicated to bringing your vision to life. Whether it's t-shirts, hats, leather products, eye-catching logos, to captivating boat wraps, they have you covered. Plus, with their commitment to excellence and attention to detail, you can trust that your project is in good hands. Don't settle for ordinary. Choose NDesigns for extraordinary results. Visit their website today and let's bring your ideas to life. NDesigns, where creativity meets excellence. E-FISH-N-SEE Bowfishing Lights by Outdoor Innovations USA. A color tone adjustable and dimmable light with a unique patented reflector design that puts more light where you need it. E-FISH-N-SEE Bowfishing Lights offer 3 different models: the 65-watt single color economy light, the 65-watt E-FISH-N-SEE V2 tricolor dimmable light for maximum efficiency and versatility, and the 130-watt E-FISH-N-SEE Maximus, designed to be an all-out beast of a bowfishing light. E-FISH-N-SEE, designed and built by bowfishermen for bowfishermen. Check them out at OutdoorInnovationsUSA.com.
And welcome back to the Bowfishing Buzz. Let's give Mr. Scott a call there, Schmitty.
Let's do it. Sounds good.
All right. How does that sound?
Sounds clear in my ears.
Good morning.
Good morning, Scott, and welcome to the Bowfishing Buzz. This is Matthew and Derek. How are you doing today?
Hey, Scott.
I'm doing good. How about you guys?
We're doing good. We're filming a podcast, so we are happy campers.
I don't know about the weather, though. We got 10 inches of snow yesterday, and this morning it's pouring raining all right now. So.
Oh, my. Well, we had the rain yesterday and high of 45 today, but, I'm not going to complain, guys. We've had a really mild winter with the exception of about a 10-day window. It's been pretty good here.
Yes, we've been very dry.
Yeah, this is good for that.
Hardly any snow at all this year, so we need this moisture for spring runoff to fill those floaters up because, man, bowfishing's here, Scott.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. You tell me. I've been working since 6.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Scott, we thank you for joining us. Like we said before we called you, you're kind of a pioneer in the bowfishing with everything that you've done for the sport with your shop down there in Missouri. So we're just going to go along and ask you a couple questions and tell some stories, all right, Scott?
That sounds good. Look forward to it.
All right. So first of all, Scott, just tell us about yourself, where you grew up, your hobbies, and anything else that you'd like the listeners to know about you.
Yeah. So, born and raised in Southwest Missouri, been around Springfield my entire life. So Cindy and I got married 31 years ago. Seems like a couple of weeks, but time has clicked by pretty fast. And been blessed to raise 3 amazing kids, and they grew up in this business, right? And, I know you guys both know our son, Ryan. He's very involved in bow fishing and twin daughters that are in college and used to be my right and my left hand because, they grew up in this business and
that's cool.
Were very instrumental in helping me over the years. And as they've got more involved in school, I don't see them as frequently as I used to. So, anyway, we enjoy summer breaks when everybody's home to help.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
Very cool. Sounds like you've done a great job raising the kids and,
passing down that bowfishing expertise that you have there.
Absolutely.
Very cool.
Well, yeah, appreciate that. We've certainly been blessed. Cindy is an amazing mother, an amazing wife, and I couldn't have done what I've done over the years without her by my side. I mean, There's many nights at midnight that we're out in the shop working together, and that's the things behind the scenes that we don't post on social media that we do those things. That's just what it takes to do the business and just what we've always done. And you ask about hobbies, and bow fishing was my passion, right? I mean that's how I got into this. But go ask the taxidermist how much time he sits in a tree, and that's the unfortunate part of this business is I kind of had to separate the two, then here comes Ryan. He's getting of age, and where he's, he wants to go all the time, and I carry a lot of guilt because I don't get to go with him as often as I should, and I need to.
Right.
But I know the things that have to be done at the shop, so it's a really tough situation to be in because I had to kind of give up a true passion.
Right.
And so that's been difficult, from a personal standpoint.
Sure. Yeah. Totally understand that. That's kind of the give and take of what you've, kind of become. That's totally true.
Right.
So Scott, how did you yourself get into bow fishing?
Yeah. So I really didn't start till I was probably about 17. Got acquainted with, there's some local guys here. A lot of the locals recognize the Batson name, and they've just been pioneers within this Southwest Missouri for hosting tournaments through the years. And they had a real nice little archery shop just west of Springfield. And I used to run around with those guys a lot. And Marvin and I started fishing the banks really as something to do. We'd hung our hunting bows up, and there really was that null, right, between turkey season and bow hunting.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got a ton of small creeks in this area, and we would just walk the creeks. And I can remember many stories of sitting on a bank fixing a reel and fixing gear, sitting in the snow, right, shooting fish, and the snow all around us is blood because that's how we all got started. And one of the local bass fishermen invited us to go out, and that's really where it started. You guys have spent many hours on Table Rock Lake. Well, you should have shot that lake in the 90s.
Oh.
It was pretty good lake.
Yeah, I bet it's beautiful. I love the clear water and stuff.
Oh, absolutely. And you could have walked across the commons back in those days. So times have changed for sure. And we didn't see many grass carp back then, which, as you know, it holds some nice grass carp. But man, the commons, I mean, it was just crazy. I mean, we had those Wisconsin commons at one time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So some of the people that know Ryan pretty well know that kid has raced motorcycles since he was old enough to walk. And so I've got a kind of a hidden passion for motorcycle racing, and it's kind of funny. Some of our customers obviously have those interests as well. And I've been at several races across the country where, there's a guy sporting our hat or sporting our hoodie, and it's always nice to see somebody in a different environment that you really wouldn't correlate bow fishing to. So,
right. Yeah.
Yeah. But I do like to, I'm still very engaged and love watching motorcycle racing.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Very cool. Very cool.
One thing that I want to ask you, Scott, that you said that I wanted to just see why this might have happened, but you say that, in the 90s, Table Rock was, big, giant carp all over the place. What do you think? Do you think the bow fishing has eliminated a lot of those carp, or just
absolutely?
No kidding.
Wow. Nobody was harvesting them back then, and as bow fishing grew through the 90s and the early 2000s.
Yeah. And
then you fast forward, and Big Cedar right there in the heart of the lake. They started running guide trips, and it just the hunting pressure really changed that lake.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's good to know.
Yep. So Bowfishing Extreme, what is it? Tell us how it started and how it has turned into the bowfishing giant it is today, Scott.
Well, I don't call it a giant. We always consider ourselves, we're a small company and doing good work every day, and that's really what it boils down to. I appreciate the sentiment there, but so Brock and I were fishing partners. We were spending a fortune on gear. Long story short, we decided to do this little mail order catalog. So we got our business license and we kind of did the thing. And really the goal was just to sell to the local community. And we started that in 99.
Yep.
And fast forward as things, we wasn't selling much, right? It really was just more of a hindrance, to be honest with you. And Brock had started his new career and really just wanted to step away. He didn't want to invest the time. And so we come to terms with, okay, I'm going to buy you out. And that really just consisted of buying the inventory, right? And we didn't, again, it was pretty small back then. So I dug my heels in and I went and bought a book of Microsoft front page for dummies, right? We've all seen the
Yep.
for dummies book.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've never had the pleasure of working in Microsoft front page, it was a treat. And man, just it took me a year to build that website and get it functioning, and the hours. I can't even begin to tell you the hours it took to do that. And back then I couldn't afford to pay anybody to do that kind of work, so I just kind of had to figure it out.
Sure.
So we launched the website bowfishingextreme.com in 2002, and really that's kind of where it began. And we've always just worked hard to, I don't care if the order comes in and it's $15 or $1,000. We work hard to give every order the attention to detail that it needs, and make sure that I'd be willing to put it on my boat when that customer gets it. And
right.
And I really think that's just what's always separated us of just how much we care. And I'm a little bit OCD, so I like things to be a certain way when a customer gets their stuff. So if you ask Cindy that, she'd roll her eyes and give you a couple of good stories about how picky I am about how I even want the tape on a box, right? So,
sure. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. But I know you two guys certainly remember William Corley and Lance Sullentrop, and those guys were the real pioneers, right? They dug their heels in and figured this deal out. And I knew Lance well. I bought from Corley, but I didn't know him like I knew Lance. And so when we took this to the web, and we really just kind of modeled their business model, because it really worked well. And I remember, having when Lance decided to sell out, we had a lot of good conversations, and really just my goal has always been to keep costs down, to keep guys on the water. That's really what it boils down to.
Mm-hmm.
And, there are so many places today that guys can get their gear, whether it's direct to the OEMs like an AMS and a MegaMouth, or some of the other vendors in the market. But we've got eBay, we've got Amazon, we've got Academy Sports, and we've got Shields, and we've got our friends at Bass Pro, and so we don't take those orders that we get lightly. We appreciate the guys that continue to support us, and we try to give back. And I get people that call me all the time wanting donations, and I mean outside of the bow fishing community. And I just tell them all, hey, I appreciate you reaching out, but the marketing budget we have goes 100% back to the bow fishing community.
Sure.
And I don't know that Amazon's ever sent a care pack to a tournament.
Exactly.
Yep.
And you guys, obviously you guys support all the tournaments, knee deep, right? And you have for our youth tournament every year. And so that's it. We just, I'm not big on social media, as you guys know. I just, when a customer places an order, it's not uncommon that in about 10 minutes they've got their tracking number. That's because I'm just back here working.
That's very nice.
Yep.
That's really nice.
Yep.
And that's, from what you're saying is all true, because I'll be looking on social media. I'll be looking at bow fishing forums and different sites and stuff like that there. And people say, hey, where's the best place to order something from? And almost every single one on there says Bowfishing Extreme.
Yeah. Word of mouth is very popular for you, Scott, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's a hats off to you, Scott, for your business and how you treat, like you said, OCD, even the tape on the boxes.
Yep.
You're crazy about, because you want it to look nice when they get it. And
that's right.
And it is very important to treat that $15 order just like that $800 order.
Exactly.
Because that's what that guy wants. He went there to order that specifically from you.
Yeah, it's all about that impression that you give that customer, for sure. Yeah,
mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yep. So, Scott, you're selling all kinds of bowfishing gear now. What is your favorite aspect of owning and running Bowfishing Extreme?
Well, I got to be honest, the friendships. I walk into a U.S. Open or the Muzzy Classic, or I haven't got to come to your shoot, but most of the guys recognize me, or a lot of them do, but some don't. And just being able to shake hands, tell stories, and the amazing people that are in this bow fishing community. And you look back a few weeks, and 2 months ago we lost a dear friend, Travis McCann, here in the Southwest Missouri, to a bow fishing accident. And the way that the community rallies around him, and then our friend down in Texas, literally the week after, and and how the bow fishing community just reach out and grabs each other is just second to nothing that I've ever experienced. And just being able to walk through the crowds and talk to those guys, and whether I get a quick text message of, it's very common that I'll send out some gear to a guy, and a week later I get a screenshot of what he harvested and of the story behind it. Right and that's where it's at for Scott. I don't need the fame. I don't need the glory. Mm-hmm. It's the friendships. And, I had the opportunity to shoot with guys like, everybody knows him as Pigman, but I knew him as Brian Quokka before he became famous. And, we got to hunt the Trinity together years ago before anybody knew who he was. And what a fun trip. And, I've got to hunt with Michael Waddell on a turkey hunt.
Oh,
and
wow.
just those things that you just can't, you can't wrap your head around of the people that you get to know. And, John Paul, I've gotten very close, to know John Paul over the years. And, and, you talk about an ambassador of our sport. Right. People don't give him the credit that it's due with what he's done for the U.S. Open and just continuing to grow our sport and get these key vendors involved in our sport. Yep. To have a $30,000 payout, I think we all would have chuckled, 25 years ago, and now it's reality, right?
Right. Yep. Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So to answer your question, it's just the people in the community. That's what I love about it.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. And I always love what you said there, that handshake. Mm-hmm. I love that handshake when you see somebody you haven't seen for a while and they recognize you, and that handshake. I think a handshake goes a long ways.
Oh yeah.
I love handshakes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love handshakes.
I think the cool part of it is that you would not have known that individual if you had not met them and done business with them or whatever you did with them with the sport of bow fishing.
Right.
That creates so many avenues of friendship and lifelong memories that you otherwise would not have had without the bow fishing aspect of it.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then just touching base on, Travis McCann there, I just got the T-shirt, and I'm going to proudly put his sticker in the AMS boat there. I just got that stuff in here last week, so I'm looking forward to finding a spot in the boat and having him right along with us this year.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Jeff Kneeball, he's the guy that, same deal, right? Anytime anything like this happens, it's, there were some guys that approached me immediately after, and, hey, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. And I said, hey, that's great. Let's do it. And Chase Wilmoth was a big part of that as well. And, we reached out to Jeff, and all these guys were willing to gather up some money to send to Jeff. And you know exactly where this story's going, right? Jeff wouldn't hear of it. It's like, no, I got you. And 3 days later, he overnights me a big stack of decals to take to a local benefit that we were having here that was going to also honor Travis. And that's just the kind of guy that, we talk about this community, right? And Jeff's, he's one of the heartstrings of it.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. One thing that I always was kind of funny is Jeff's he's tall.
Oh yeah. He's a big guy.
He is.
And it's so funny when you talk to him, he's got such a nice, soft voice.
Taking a shot at people here.
It's not. I'm not saying that type of voice. It's just you would think he would have. He's just
big
so
burly voice.
Kind. It's just a kind voice and a welcoming voice. Yep. It's just funny.
Oh, that's awesome. So he'll get a good kick out of that.
Right. There we go. Good deal. Good deal.
So Scott, how many people work for Bowfishing Extreme?
Yeah, so it's primarily family, and then during the peak months, we have several that help us part-time, and a lot of stuff on the weekends where we're doing assembly, sub-assembly, that kind of stuff. Because, as you know, we do have some of our own products as well as, what we're buying from AMS and MegaMouth and other vendors.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep. So I've got to ask you, Scott, how long have you been selling AMS and MegaMouth products?
This is interesting, and I enjoyed the segment a couple of weeks ago where, you had talked about the induction of Jeff and Cindy into the Hall of Fame, and congratulations to them. Good opportunity to say that. But so I remember when we first started, and again, we weren't buying a lot, but we were buying. But, I would phone in my order, and guess what? Jeff and Cindy were at work, and All Metal Stamping was answering the phone for him and taking my order. And they would say, okay, they'll get that put together tonight and it'll ship tomorrow. And guess what? It always shipped tomorrow. They did same things we were doing, working after hours and over through the night. And so we were certainly one of those. And I don't know where we fall in your list of customers, but we've got to be toward the top as far as longevity and tenure with the two companies partnering. And so, not only have we grown, but it's been really fun to watch what Jeff and Cindy have done with AMS and now the MegaMouth brand and true ambassadors to the sport.
Yeah, that's cool.
We appreciate you.
We appreciate your business for that long, Scott. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just touching on that, one thing, it was back during the COVID time. We were having a hard time getting parts in to assemble full products and stuff like that there, and we were running around with their heads cut off, and it was busier than heck. It was crazy. But yet we had a hard time getting stuff in to assemble stuff. And you were ordering MegaMouth and stuff like that there, and you were going crazy down there too, I'm sure. And and I remember you sent us up a gift certificate.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
And we got pizzas on you.
You
sent up to us.
So literally I was meeting the UPS guy for a few weeks there because you guys were obviously same deal, right? You were struggling to get stuff out the door and I would call and I could easily recognize how busy and stressed you guys were. So I think Wendy answered the phone and I was like, Wendy, who can I call right there near your shop that will bring you lunch? And she's like, oh, well, call this guy. And so I called him and I said, here, do this, this, and this. And I want you guys to deliver lunch over to the AMS crew. And every one of you guys reached out and thanked me. And that wasn't why I did it. It was a thank you because without your support, I mean, to your point, during the COVID, the sporting goods industry flew off the chart, right? So we were struggling for that inventory. So we just wanted to give our gratitude and say thank you. And so that's just the partnership that we have, right?
Right. That was really cool.
It was cool.
That was really neat.
Yep. That was awesome. That was awesome.
So, what other business ventures do you currently have going on in your life?
Well, I've got I haven't made a public announcement. It's been on my to-do list, but this is a good opportunity to do it.
Wow. Breaking news on the Bowfishing Buzz with Scott Henslee.
First time, right? So,
there we go.
Ron Skirvin was inducted into the Hall of Fame this year, as well as Jeff and Cindy. And for anybody that listening to the podcast today that doesn't know who Ron Skirvin is, Ron designed and developed the Sure Shot and the Penetrator fish point.
Right.
And Ron has done that for over 40 years, and it's really been near and dear to his heart. And long story short, I've known Ron for 26 years that I've been doing this, and we've discussed for several years, and this has been in the works for about 2.5 years, that when he's ready to retire, we would take over. And so we agreed to terms last year and finalized it January 1st of this year. So we officially now own Sure Shot, and many long conversations with Ron and just the trust that he gave me to take this over, because it would be no different than Jeff and Cindy, the blood, sweat, and tears that they grew their business, and just like me, right? I wouldn't just hand this off to anybody,
right?
And so Ron having the trust in us to continue to move forward with his product and honor him in that way was a huge honor, and can't thank Ron enough. It was such a pleasure to work through the transaction with him, and we've got some cool things coming with Sure Shot that we'll talk about later this year. But so we'll go on record of we now own Sure Shot. Several people in the industry do know that because they've needed to order product, but that's been really fun. And I've been dabbling in the manufacturing side of the business for a few years now, so it's really been fun to learn that side of the business.
Yeah, well, congrats to you.
Yeah, congratulations.
It's very cool.
Heck yeah,
very cool.
Appreciate that. So, for anyone that doesn't know, we had an opportunity to buy Woody Wire back in 2017. Casey Woody one of the guys, long time bow fisherman himself, and he helped develop the woody wire braid, and we had the opportunity to buy it back in 2017, and it's everything we put our hands on, we're proud to say is made in the USA. The same goes for woody wire. It's a USA product. We do have it braided overseas, but it is absolutely a U.S. product that we ship to them to have made to our specification.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah. And then the F&D Pro Reel seat is also we bought the patent right to that a couple of years ago from Eric, and been a fun project to work on as well. And we're now manufacturing those in house, and so it's those are the little things that I didn't think I would enjoy in the beginning, but I've really enjoyed that aspect of it, of just, sourcing the materials and the manufacturing process. And so that's been a really fun endeavor for us.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Staying busy and staying even busier now.
Busy's good.
That's right. Well,
busy's good.
And right, it's and you guys know as well as anybody, you got to find something to do from about September to January, and those are the months that we do those things now. So.
Sure.
Right.
Yep. Building up stock. Yeah, for sure.
So so what you're saying is you're not sitting in a tree stand in those months?
Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
I still enjoy the bow hunting.
That's good to hear. That's good.
That's my guilty pleasure. I didn't, when you asked me about my hobbies, it crossed my mind, but I didn't say it. But I still I'm an avid bow hunter, love it. And, I'm never going to kill a giant where I hunt, but, I just love the passion for it, and I get to sit a lot, and that's a good thing.
And that's a great place to go to get away.
Oh, clear your head.
Clear your mind when you're busy assembling and doing all that stuff. So the woods is a great place to go to get rid of that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So, Scott, you obviously have experiences in the bow fishing aspect of things, running a business. You've got all kinds of different ventures going here. But if you had to narrow down one memory, what would you say your all-time favorite bow fishing memory is?
Oh, gosh,
it's a loaded question.
Hard to pick one.
Yes, it is.
I had this asked of me once before on a similar podcast, and I ventured back to I held the Texas state record for grass carp for several years.
Oh, okay.
And the night we harvested it would probably go down as one of the best nights for sure. But honestly, guys, the memories are just whether it be watching Ryan come up through the sport and the success that he's had with Darren, winning the BFC.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about a tear rolling down your cheek watching your 18-year-old kid roll across the BFC and knowing that he was a part of that and the success he's had. And then, Ryan and I have been really heavily involved in a couple of organizations. One I'll mention is Cross Trail Outfitters, and CTO is a national youth ministry to put kids in the outdoors. And Ryan and I have guided multiple times for these kids, and we've been a big part of an organization out of Texas called Halo for Freedom America. And it's, so we've all heard of Wounded Warrior, and Halo for Freedom America is a very similar organization with one exception. Halo really focuses on amputees.
Oh, okay.
And I tell a story that, Ryan was probably 15 or 16 years old. We're in Texas, and I'm driving the boat, and these guys, one particular gentleman had really just recently gotten 2 prosthetic legs. He wanted to go, but his mobility was very limited.
Right.
And Ryan literally stood behind that man and had his hands around his waist for about 4 hours solid so that guy could fish that night. And those are the things that you just never forget. And I've talked about that multiple times over the years of just how impactful meeting some of those true heroes of our country have been. And literally you get back to the boat ramp and you're taking pictures and you're having fun. And these guys are just tears rolling down their cheek, hugging your neck, saying, I didn't think I'd ever get to do this kind of thing, and just those are the things that stick in my mind. I had a good run, won several state championships here in Missouri, back whenever I was competing. those aren't even at the top of the list for me. It's the other stuff.
Yep, that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
I remember when your son won that bowfishing championship that they put on that one year for the invites only and stuff. And I remember that was at that shooting range down there is where they had the weigh-ins that morning. The Bass Pro shooting area down there. And I remember when your son won that, and I came down and talked to you and shook your hand and stuff, and it was no different than your son winning a state basketball championship, your daughter winning. It was no different. You were proud. You were happy. I think you did have a couple of tears coming down. You were so proud of that moment for your son.
Oh, absolutely.
And it was great to see. It was just awesome to see that.
Yeah.
Well, and
a lot of guys know Darren Freeze, and Darren's one of the local guys, and Darren and I fished together a lot prior to him really getting involved in bow fishing. And so Brock, Darren, and I have been friends for many years, and our twins were born in 2002, twin daughters, and that was the weekend of the Ironman. So needless to say, I didn't get to attend the Ironman. So Darren filled in for me and went and shot with Brock, and Darren, that guy, his nickname's Fishhead for a reason. I mean, he's just an incredible mind for finding fish. And long story short, as the business grew and I realized I had to step away from the tournament scene, and Darren and I had a long conversation, and Ryan had went and shot with him a few times, and Darren, he kind of looked at me and he said, I'll take care of him. And that was the sign I needed to hear.
That's cool.
Ryan can go with Darren, be safe, have fun, learn a lot. And I knew I didn't have to feel like I had to burn, don't get me wrong. I miss not being on the boat with him, but
I bet
knowing Darren's got his back. And honestly, I think Ryan would tell you that Darren's been a second dad to him, right?
Sure.
I mean, Darren's taught him a lot, Ryan's been killing fish since he was old enough to walk, but Darren's a whole different level of understanding the water.
Right. And that's true friendship right there.
Oh, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Lots of knowledge passed down there, for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. And for you to feel no issues whatsoever to let your son, you're on the water late at night, driving home early in the mornings. That's true friendship right there. For him to say, "I got you, man.
Yeah,
I got you."
Yeah,
that's really cool.
And he did, and that made it easier for me for sure.
Right.
So
right.
I still, so the Batsmans, they still have some local tournaments, and they have one spring tournament annually. Everything else is pretty much night tournaments, and I just don't do the night tournaments anymore. But the last few years, I've jumped on the boat for that spring tournament and shot, and man, what a fun day. I mean, I just absolutely love I'm old school. I like the day tournaments. You guys fish all night long. You ruin it for me.
Oh, yep. I hear you on that. So, Scott, if you could go back in time and give a younger Scott Henslee a piece of advice, what would it be?
I'm curious to hear this one.
Good question. I would have to say, for me personally, it's got to be focused on the bigger picture, right? I again, talking about my OCD, I want things to be a certain way, and I spend a lot of time and energy over the years on stuff in hindsight probably didn't matter, right? And so I think for me personally, it's got to be just to know when to let go and pick the battles you can win, right?
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Control what you can control.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's it. Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. So another kind of an in-depth question here for you, Scott. If you weren't running Bowfishing Extreme, what do you think you would be doing for a career?
Oh, wow. Hard to say. I've always had a passion for helping people and doing those things. So I think it would have to be something similar. I've always wanted to own a business on the side, and even back before I started this, I've always felt like I had the ability and the know-how and the want and the drive to own a business. So I think it would be something, whether it be bow fishing or something similar. I joke all the time and tell people I just wasn't smart enough to start a business in a seasonal sport, right? And but no, I think never really thought about that, guys. But honestly, I don't know. If I go back in time, bow fishing has been good to me and my family, and I wouldn't change it.
Good. Gotcha. That's awesome.
Yep, that's a
awesome.
good way to look at that.
Exactly.
Yep.
So we were talking earlier, Scott, about all the carp that were in Table Rock years ago and how there's hardly none there anymore. And you think it's because of the bow fishing that has no doubt removed a lot of those carp from those waterways.
Yep.
So now, like, where do you see the sport in the next 10 years?
Yeah, so I think there's several things to be concerned about for the future of bow fishing, and I think the biggest thing that's on the forefront is legislation, right? I mean, I think there's been many states that have attempted to make a run at putting restrictions on bow fishing, and I think we've got to continue to work together as a team to support our BAA and to support. You know, there's several guys that step up every time. I mean, look at guys like Randy Woodard. I mean, those guys are instrumental in you know, we've got to continue to get the next generation to step up and fill the shoes of guys like Randy that are fighting those battles in the BAA and continue to support the BAA. Because you know, I do feel like that's only going to get worse. And, you know, I think it's safe to say that the young generation doesn't have the love for the outdoors that guys like us have. And I think we've got to do a better job as adults of getting those youth in the outdoors. And that's why CTO is, you know, near and dear to my heart, because that's what their focus is, right? Is getting those, not only are they bringing Christ to these kids, but they're bringing the outdoors to these kids that may never have that opportunity also. You know?
Yep. Yeah, good answer. I tell you what, Scott, what is the best way for our listeners to access you or to access Bowfishing Extreme?
Yeah, so the website's very straightforward. It's bowfishingextreme.com. Our phone's always available by phone or text at 417-838-9291. You know, again, I mentioned I do look at messages once in a while on Facebook, but that's not my source. I need to do better there, but that's just not how I'm wired. But
sure.
Yeah, so website has all of our contact information. My email is very simple, scott@bowfishingextreme.com. Happy to address anybody that wants to reach out.
Cool.
Very cool. Yep. And we'll have your website up there on the video podcast as well with your number and
we'll link it
like that.
We'll link it in the notes of the podcast as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
well, I tell you what, Scott, we just grilled you with all these questions here. We've never really done this with a guest before, but do you have any questions for Matt or myself to wrap up the podcast here?
You know, I hadn't thought about that. I was prepared to answer questions, but I don't think I prepared myself
We're flipping it on you.
Yeah. So let's start with just out of my curiosity. I know both you guys really well, and we always get to chat a lot at the trade show and throughout the year at different occasions. But so how long have you guys both fished? And tell me a little bit about how long you've been at AMS.
Gotcha. You start us off here, Matt.
All right. I started bowfishing in the late 80s.
Wow.
I was going out on our local flowage, crappie and walleye fishing, and I would see all these common carp spawning in the shallow bays.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw that, I would run home, load the boat up, run home, get my bow and arrow and stuff, and go out and shoot carp for 2 or 3 days.
Yep.
And when they were done, I was done.
Sure.
That was it.
Yep.
That was it for me for that season.
Yep.
Yeah. And you know what, Matt? That's ironically you say that. That's how it used to be.
Yeah.
It
right.
was, spring turkey season is here. The spawn is here, and let's move on to the next thing. And now we bowfish year round.
Right. You got the invasive silvers and bigheads where you can shoot them, a long season there for us. You can travel and shoot them. You can go to warmer states, and people are doing that. You got tournaments all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Before, like I said, the carp were done. I was done.
Yeah.
Until the following year.
Yep.
And next month, I will be here at AMS for 17 years.
That's awesome.
Yep, 17
congratulations.
years.
That's
Very
awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. For myself, Scott, I tell you what, I was very good friends with Jeff and Cindy's oldest, their son Sawyer.
Okay.
We went to school together. We were in the same grade. And we'd always, we'd go over and play at each other's houses and whatnot. And I always knew that Sawyer's parents they owned a really cool business. And I think it was like 2009. I'd have been, 11, 12 years old.
Yeah.
They took me out one night on the local flowage here. And I remember just being like, what the hell is this? This is crazy. I mean, it was just wild. and Jeff and Cindy were shooting fish like crazy, and I think I got one fish that night, and so that was kind of my introduction to it. But obviously I was young and in school, and then when I think I was a sophomore in high school, I had a little bit of a break between sports seasons, and I wrote Jeff and Cindy a letter asking if they would ever need any part-time help. That I would love to do whatever they needed me to do. And they wrote me a letter back in the summer of my junior year of high school. I started doing part-time stuff here in the summer, and I just kind of, after high school, I went to the tech here in Wausau, and I was working with them throughout that time as well. So I've been here now for 8 years, going on 9 years in June. So it just kind of started so small as a little part-time deal, and it's just kind of taken off, and I've loved every second of it. So
yeah, absolutely, and obviously it's your career now, right?
Yeah,
you've been, you guys have been instrumental in helping develop some really cool products for them, and just look at how they've grown in the last 8 years. And,
right. Yeah.
And,
Yep.
And I'm sure you're not done developing products.
Nope. Just like
always
you said,
thinking.
Always thinking.
Yep.
You're always thinking of what to do next, what to come up with.
Yep.
Ideas. You're always thinking.
For sure. For sure. Our favorite product that we have is the next one that we come out with.
I love it.
Yep. Well, Scott, man, we can't thank you enough for joining us on the Bowfishing Buzz and sitting down and taking time out of your busy day to chat with us and our listeners to get a little more intel on you and your business.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've probably got a bunch of orders come in because, like I said, bowfishing season is here, man. It's I mean, we're here. Yeah. There's states where carp are spawning right now.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Oh, absolutely. It's kind of funny as spring approaches, typically in, late January, early February, orders start coming in from the south, and as we progress, the northern states start chiming in, and you can actually watch that cycle come through. And
that's funny.
So I appreciate you guys inviting me. It was fun. It's always good to chat with you guys. And
absolutely.
Just before we disconnect, I'd like to just, if you've bought from us before, I say it all the time, and it's truly heartfelt that we couldn't do what we do without the support from our customer base, and just a true heartfelt thank you to those guys that have supported us through the years and continue to. Right on, Scott. That's right on.
Yep.
Well, you get back to putting your tape on the boxes and make sure they're all nice and straight for your
and we'll make sure that our tape here is straight too when we ship it to
you. All right, guys. Well, you have a great afternoon.
You bet. Thank you, Scott.
Thanks, Scott.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Oh, Mr. Hensley.
Yeah.
That's good stuff right there. That was a good interview. That was good. That was good. He's got his hands in all kinds of things there. Yeah. He is a guy who he's bowfishing through and through, no doubt about it.
Yep. And if you ever do see Scott at a tournament somewhere, go up and talk to him. He, like you just heard right there, he loves to talk with you. He loves to shake your hand. Yeah. Who are you?
Yep.
Thanks for ordering stuff from us in the past and stuff. Go up and give him a thank you because he works his butt off.
Yeah, absolutely.
He works his butt off.
Absolutely.
And you can tell he's very genuine person.
Oh yeah. He truly that thank you at the end was as sincere and heartfelt as a person could make it.
Right.
It's he loves what he does. He loves the people that he does business with.
Yeah. Yep. So it's really cool stuff right there. And don't forget, Schmitty.
Okay.
To go to Carbon TV.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. We've had our first episode out there for season 3, Not Show Stingrays.
Yep.
Let us know what you think about that. And then if you wanted to, you can also go over to Skullbound TV and check out the Butterfly Carp episode.
Yep.
That
one's
Jana
been live
Waller
for a
has
couple
on.
weeks now.
It's been out there for a couple weeks.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And we'll be uploading Carbon TV episodes here throughout the season
monthly,
as we pick up here.
Yep.
We started in March, was our first month here, so you're gonna get all kinds of awesome bowfishing episodes that we've got ready to rock and roll, and we're gonna hopefully get out and film some more this year.
Right.
So we're things are looking up. It's
absolutely,
it's snowy and cold out, but the bowfishing's starting to get hot.
It is, Schmitty. Well, there's the tune.
The outro.
The outro tune for the Bowfishing Buzz.
Mm-hmm.
Bowfishing season is here.
Yes, it is.
And with that, I want to put a strict warning out there for all you people that are giving us bad apples by leaving your fish on the banks.
Yes. Yep.
Throwing them in ditches.
Big no-no.
Big no-no, Schmitty. Don't be doing that.
Yeah.
Take
Represent
care of your
the community.
fish.
Represent us properly.
Yes.
Yep.
Because the season's here and we need you to take care of your fish. Don't leave them hanging. Have a plan
before you go out.
Time.
Yes,
before you go out.
Yep.
Man, we got a farmer here. That's a big farm operation.
Yep.
They love our cart, man.
When our stinky boat comes rolling in, there is a smile on his face. Fertilizer, baby.
And don't forget to thank them with the 30-pack of Bush Lattes.
There you go. Yep. Goes a long way.
A gift certificate for somewhere. Because, that helps us a ton.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
When you come back with a boatload of fish and then they go spread it on their fields for fertilizer. Yep. Oh, it's a win-win, baby.
It is a win-win.
It's a win-win for that lake. It's a win-win for that farmer.
It's a win-win for you. You got to go shoot some fish.
Win-win for me.
It's a win-win-win.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a triple winner.
Alrighty, so from all of us here at AMS Bowfishing, we wish you the best of luck. And remember, think big.
Aim low. Whoa, you flipped it on me there.
I was going to see if you're going to catch on to that.
Holy moly. Good thing I was pooped out. Aim low, think big, aim low.
Man, well, that's good stuff right there. So
thanks for listening, guys.
We'll see you next time from the Bowfishing Buzz.